Oh, how you doing, everyone? Mike B here with a little hunting video for you, going over some of the firearms, some surplus guns I've used from my collection to bag them deer, a couple of bucks too, while we were at it. So, yeah, today we're going to be going over some rifles that I've used and some other little tools out of my collection that have helped me get this deer harvested. So we got good venison throughout the year. I'm done with the accent. I know you guys are rolling right now and you think it's funny, but it's like literally Freddy Krueger's knife hands on a freaking chalkboard for me to hear that accent. But yes, that's kind of how the hunting stereotypical accent is up here with the old timers. And I know some of you guys get a kick out of that. Anyway, we're going to move on. I'm going to kind of address this question that was brought up by a viewer a couple days ago on another video in the comments section, asking if I hunted and if so, did I use surplus, if I ever used surplus weapons to hunt? And the answer is yes. Now, while I've made a lot of videos that I mentioned this in, and I actually have a video from 2016, the last year that I went out deer hunting with one of the rifles I'll be showing you, I actually was out there hunting and did kind of a vlog thing, and while I was doing it, another deer showed up, so I ended up getting 2 deer on that video. So yeah, I have hunted, and I'm just going to kind of contain this all right here, because I still have most of the guns I've hunted with over the past several years. So I started hunting when I was 13, back in like 2000, no, I was 14. No, I was 13 because it was 2003, yep. And then I used surplus. I used a civilian firearm the first year I went deer hunting because it wasn't really whatever. And then from there on out, I used military surplus. So I'm going to go over the ones that I was using. It's not that many guns. I've harvested a lot of deer with them, but still they're very cool. I've mentioned these in other videos, but again, I think it's kind of nice to have this contained here because it's a valid question. So yeah, the reason that surplus used to be great is because somebody that was not so wealthy like me in high school, or middle school at that time, right around freshman year in high school, you can't legally work, so you have to do odd jobs for cash, and it takes a long time to actually get money, especially when parents don't buy you everything you want, which in my case was the truth. So it took a long time to save up for guns, and surplus was A, really cool, and B, it was cheap. And then you just buy 1 box of ammo, you go zero it, kind of get familiar with it, and you need 5 to 10 rounds per season unless you're going all out and shooting 10,000 deer and you need more rounds. But that's basically how I hunted. I bought a cheap Blaze Orange jacket at Wally World back in 2003 for like 20 bucks and still use that if I go hunting. Like I said, I haven't been hunting since 2016. I got busy, and also I just kind of got sick of not having my own land to hunt on because there's all these rules that happen to pop up after you shoot the wrong kind of deer, and that happened several times. It's not big enough, or basically when I go hunting for meat, and unless it's got spots on it, if it's brown, it's down, right? And that's what I was understood. But anyway, that rant over. Once I get my own property again where it's safe to hunt, or maybe I'll go this year because I have a family member that has property that they don't hunt, and they said they wouldn't have a problem with that. So anyway, with that, I'll try to make videos if I do go hunting. Now we'll get to these guns. So the first one that I started using was this thing. I got it at a gun show in 2005-ish for 200 bucks, and my dad had to legally buy it, but I came up with the money for it, which took me a long time. So 200 bucks for this, and I used this rifle up until 2010. So about 5 or 6 seasons I hunted with this, and then I let my friend use this in 2011 or 2012, whatever, one of those years, and he actually got his first deer with this rifle as well. It's a number 4 Mark I Star made by Long Branch in 1943. So this is my first military surplus rifle that I owned and was able to fire, because my first rifle was an Arisaka Type 99, which until recently I couldn't get ammo for. So you learn how to reload and resize 30-06 cases, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this thing has successfully, I started carving notches when I was a kid. In here I stopped at 3 because I realized that I was ruining the collector value and whatever. So I stopped at 3. This thing's probably taken 7 or 8 deer in different seasons by myself and friends of mine. So yeah, this is what I started hunting with initially after I went to surplus because ammo was pretty cheap. Deer don't run very far when they get hit by a 303 174 grain soft point. It just doesn't. I think the farthest I had a deer run on this was a buck, this little 7-pointer that ran about 100 yards before his body ran out of oxygen and he dropped. And that was a pretty strong animal, and it didn't run that far. It was very easy to track the blood trail. So this thing has provided a lot of clean kills, a lot of quick kills, and that's what I like. I don't like animals suffering. So I loved this thing. And then when I got back from deployment in 2010, I was like, well, let's try them all. Let's have a buffet, a smorgasbord. So 2010, I started hunting with this KAR 98. This is the one that I got for $2.25 back in 2010. It's just a bolt mismatch. This thing's got a lot of cool features on it, which I'll end up making another video on. At Reveille, it was having this looked over by somebody who knows more about K98s than me, and he's like, yeah, this thing got refurbished quite a few times during the Second World War, and it's got a lot of unique features. So with that being said, this thing is super accurate, and again, 170 grain soft point out of a 7.92 by 57 millimeter. Deer don't run very far, so that's what I like. I don't like tracking deer. That's why I can never be a bow hunter, and also I think it's a very slow and painful death, whereas this is much more quicklier. Yeah, I obviously know, it's funny, it's a joke, haha. And anyway, so I used this for a couple years and absolutely loved it. And then I think the year after that or something, or 2 years after that, I decided to just kind of switch things up. And also I would use different rifles for different purposes. Like I was using this for an area that was going to have several deer and I needed a quick follow-up shot, which it actually paid off in. This is my Springfield, my 56 or 57 dated Springfield M1 rifle. And it's still got dirt and grime on it from Reveille, which is fun. But yeah, this thing has taken, I think, 1 or 2, possibly 3 deer. And it's just a very nice rifle. It works great. And really not much more to say about that. It was just kind of fun to be able to take out, you know, if I wanted to use a semi-automatic rifle for one day, I could, and then use the K98 the next, or the number 4. Who knows? So that's kind of what I did for many years, is just kind of swapped out with the K98 and the M1 and all that stuff. Now, with that being said, when I mentioned I don't like animals suffering, I believe if you're going to harvest an animal, you should minimize the suffering as much as you possibly can. So my first handgun ever, my Yugoslavian M57 Tokarev in 7.62 by 25 millimeter. This is what I would carry as a sidearm, not for, it's not going to take a bear out or anything like that, or you know, whatever. But usually what I do is I shoot the deer within 100 yards out in the woods, which is a fairly decent distance. So I walk down to the deer, and if when I still get there within about 30 to 45 seconds, it's not dead, I will take this and I will do a mercy kill right in the back of the head, right in the spine, so it's over and done and quick and it stops suffering. That's why I carry a sidearm. The main reason I carry a sidearm out deer hunting. Then you've got some more rounds too if a weird animal comes up and tries to kill you, but usually during that time of the year, the dangerous shit isn't really going to mess with you. And then a couple years, I also carried this Walther P1 9mm because 7.60 by 25 was getting hard to find, or I don't know why I did that. But yeah, I just carried this, and then I think this one has 2 or 3 confirmed mercy kills, and then this one's got 1. Yeah, it was 1 in 2016 I used this to just end the life so it would stop suffering. I know, pussy thing, it's just a personal thing. I don't enjoy things suffering. So that's why I do that. And it actually is very effective. You just place a shot in the back of the head, into the skull, and it's over pretty quick. Now, the last year I hunted was 2016. I just decided to try out this K31. And it was literally child's play to aim this about 75, 80 yards in the woods, squeeze the trigger, have it go off, and hit exactly to the almost fine hair where you were aiming. These things are fantastic. I didn't want to hunt with this because this is my nicest one, as you can see. I have since acquired a couple more that are beaters. Not beaters, but they've got dings in the stocks. They were used a lot more than this one that was probably unissued. So if I do go deer hunting, I might actually use one of those K31s because I like the safety. I like how easy it is to work out in the cold. I don't wear gloves out deer hunting because I can't shoot as well with gloves on. So I do like the K31, and you just have to straight back and forward. It's very quick. I don't even remember working bolt action rifles after you fire a shot and you got that adrenaline going. But this, I don't even remember throwing this back and putting it forward. It was so quick. So I might actually do that if I hunt again, and then just, I load up my own hand loads. Or no, I think I bought Wolf that year. But yeah, 174 grain again, soft points. And these rifles are stupidly accurate, very easy to handle, very pleasant to shoot, especially out deer hunting. And they're not that heavy either, like they're pretty lightweight. So great rifle. All of these are great choices if you want recommendations and you can get access to these and get ammo for them. Yeah, I mean, if they're legal where you're hunting, I know some places have problems with semi-autos over 5 rounds or some shit like that, so the M1 might not be a viable option. But yeah, if your locality allows this and everything, these are all viable choices. Now, my friends and my friend hunted with an M38 Mosin Nagant carbine for most of high school and thereafter. I actually don't think he ever got a deer though. Anyway, I've heard of numerous people hunting with Mosin Nagant 9130s and being successful on their hunt using hand loads or Wolf. 203 grain soft points were the ones that really took the deer down, and that's what I heard. Definitely, I don't know if I've hunted with I'd probably take a Finnish M39 out there. That'd be fun. But yeah, I mean, I've heard people hunting with Turkish Mausers and stuff like that. I personally haven't, but I've used all these and it functions just as well. And at that time they were so cheap that I didn't care about dinging up the stock and having all this work done. It's like, well, this thing is made to be rugged and still perform very well. So yeah, I never had issues with these things. They put meat on my table many years in a row, and perhaps I'll go deer hunting this year and I will be using a military surplus rifle. So anyway, yeah, if you got any questions, further questions or whatever, it's kind of a chill video, just showing you, things you've already seen, but these are ones that I've actually got confirmed kills with out deer hunting. So they are effective, they do work. Yeah, that's all I've got. Yeah. Again, if you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. If you want to support my work and help me afford ammo and stuff like that for videos like this and getting other things to teach you about tangible history, consider becoming a Patreon supporter or a YouTube channel member. Either method of support really helps me out being able to get things, like I was saying. And $5 a month or more on either method of support gets into my Discord server, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of people on there. I learn a lot daily, and it's kind of fun to hang out there and whatever. So that's a cool thing. Also on Patreon, you do have the advantage of having exclusive podcasts that I release once in a while that I don't release to the public. A little bit more spicy, kind of things that, me going on rants and stuff like that about things I'm passionate about. And they're usually between 30 and 45 minutes long, so it's a good little tirade if you're into that sort of thing. So that's a perk. If you want to support me, but you can't do it financially, that's totally fine. You know how to do that. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this video out. Let me know which rifles you guys have hunted with. And a lot of you guys are surplus freaks like me, and a lot of you guys are sportsmen as well. So yeah, let me know what you've successfully taken game with as far as military surplus is concerned, what ammo you're using and stuff like that. It's very interesting to hear how practical these things are, even though they're very historical and collectible. So that's why I like them. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video.